Alright boys, in today's video we are going to be talking about Grand Summoners as a whole. The game is just getting too easy, I'm gonna be honest. They keep releasing broken units with no bosses strong enough to stop them. Like, let's talk about Hajime and Okarun. Their nukes are insane. There is no boss with enough HP to take the whole nuke. They die within like the first 2 hits. Every boss. Their thresholds doesn't matter. It just blows up the whole thing. It's not even close. And then we have units like Hoka, who's an insane Archgener. He has a bit of healing. He's got crazy damage buffs. We have a unit like HK Roy, who has damage buffs. He has Archgen. He has those Phantom Bullets that give 200 arts to the whole team. He has a 100% heal on his second Phantom Bullet. He's got that defense slot. And if you put the right defense equip in there, he literally becomes invaluable. Like, these units are too busted, and there really is no boss in the game strong enough to stop them. So I think that's an issue. I think, honestly, it's getting kind of boring just stomping everything over and over and over. Like, as a vet, the only thing I really have to do is compendium farm and crest farm. That's about it. And it's not that fun, I'm gonna be honest. I think we need some new things. We need definitely a better schedule. Like, we've been getting mines a lot more. Like, we have mines again like tomorrow, so that's awesome. Definitely better than the old mines like schedule. That was terrible. We aren't getting raid bosses anymore. I don't think we're gonna get them like ever, because Hajime and Okarun, they just make raid bosses silly. Like, if you remember the last raid boss, they literally, as soon as you join it, it gets exploded. It's gone. And they can't really fix that because they can't add thresholds to raid bosses because it doesn't work in the multiplayer the way the raid boss is set up, because there's like 20 players against the raid boss. If you've ever done a multiplayer run, usually you do a little bit extra damage past the threshold. If you do that with 20 people, it's just not going to work. And it's just problematic. Okay, so right now we're going to go over what we have in the game. So the main story, for the most part, all of these are easy. There is a couple hard ones. 2 that I like is going to be Titan Roy and Verzard. Those are 2 that I just use to test new units. They're not hard fights. They're pretty standard fights. It's kind of the base that I use for the Ascended era. If a unit can hold their own in that fight, it's a pretty good unit. And Roy is pretty hard. Not Titan Roy, just the normal Roy. He's a pretty hard fight, but I think by far the hardest fight in the main story is going to be BF Emperors. His is just pretty difficult, especially, with the human god demon like freeze he does, and you have to break him, all that stuff. But honestly, none of them are too hard. BFMs is probably the only hard one. And then side stories, literally some of the easiest content in the game. Any OK team comp can clear all of them. And literally, if you just got Okarun, he could probably clear all of the side stories by himself. They're that easy. And then trial bosses, this is like your Ganon, your Grad, your, what are the other ones? Like Chloe, all of them. I'd argue that, honestly, like the new ones, they've gotten Dream Awakening fights. The Dream Awakening fights are easier than the old fights. I might be crazy, but honestly, that's how I feel. Most of those fights are pretty easy, especially nowadays. Like, I just feel like we need some new content, Giant bosses, not a single one is difficult. Ultra bosses, not a single one is difficult. DOT, there is a couple gimmicky fights, but with current units, it's easy. Raid bosses, they're literally just not coming. They get immediately nuked, and they can't add thresholds because they won't work in a 20-player multiplayer lobby. Summoner's Road. Summoner's Road was designed at the start of the Ascended era. It was designed to be difficult content when Heart, OG Emp, and War God Fen were the best units in the game. Currently, it's not that hard. It's harder for new players because they can't reuse their Ascended units because you need 5 separate teams. So you need a pretty big box to do that. But if you have 3 solid teams, honestly, Summoner's Road isn't that difficult. They did a thing on a live stream a while ago where they showed how many people have beaten stage 5 of each of the Summoner's Road. I feel like back then it was like 500 on each. Now it's got to be thousands of people have beaten all of the Summoner's Roads. I'd imagine they're not that hard anymore. They were designed for Awoken units to be extremely difficult against Awoken units and maybe a couple Ascended units, but they weren't designed to have team comps full of Ascended units for all 5 of your teams to just stomp them easily. So Summoner's Road, it's kind of easy now. Probably the hardest fights in the current game I would consider is the Elemental Ruins, because your team comps are restricted so heavily. They are mono element only, and if you just have a bad mono team, you can't do these. Like, my mono water is atrocious, so I cannot do the water elemental runes. My mono earth is kind of bad. I'm on the last fight for it, but I can't really do it. I don't have War God Fen, so I don't have that extra 30% DR to survive that. It's kind of difficult, but I'm gonna figure it out. And then Crest Palaces. This is the end game farming for vets who want to flex their 5+. It's farmable. It's farmable. Crest Palaces, they are the farmable end game. This is what you do when you have nothing else to do. It's a farmable thing. That's how easy it is. The Novas can be challenging to farm without the best units in the game, but they are still easy to beat once. And like getting 5+s should be challenging, so having the best team in the game to farm the 5+s, it makes sense. But just beating them once to get the rewards, it's easy. Getting 4+s is easy. But Grand Crusade and Mines, they are endless and they always get harder, but they also get boring. So that's pretty much all the content in the current game. And now we are going to go over what I want to see in the future. So hopefully we could somehow get in contact with GS and tell them, like, I think these are some pretty good ideas, especially towards the end. Some of these are bangers. So first off, we're going to start most mild, and then as we get going further and further, I'm going to banger, okay? So we're going to start off with more Nova Crest Palaces. Just one every day of the week. This is an easy thing for them to add. We already have them. We have 3 of them. I want 7 of them, okay? It just gives vets something to do every day. And then next up, I want a true survivability test. I just want a fight where all you have to do is survive for 2 minutes. Because we can test nukers just in nuking. Like, you just set up a nuke, boom, tested the nuker. He nuked real well, cool. But I want a fight where we can test sustain units. Test how good a unit's DR is. Test how good their HP is. Like their HP autofill. So just like staying alive for 2 minutes against this fight. Like, it can be hard, it can be easy. Doesn't matter. Just I want to have a way to test survivability. That one's, it's a mid idea. But the next one, a cross battle with 2 different bosses. And they have different mechanics and they require you to swap your team comp mid-fight. So cross battles, if you don't know what that is, there's the cross battle in the tutorial. And there's also, like when we had raid bosses, it would be a cross battle. So you can swap, you have your 4 units at the bottom, and then there's 4 units on the right side of the screen. You can swap them, and you can put the 4 units on the right side of your screen into your party, and then you can use them instead. So this would be a fight where there's 2 different bosses with 2 different mechanics. Like maybe one of them has like, the first one is like, let's say water killer, but then the second one only takes damage from water units. So you would have a team comp with no water units first, and then after you kill the first one, you would swap to your water units. Something like that. I think it would be fun. It would be a cool use of the cross battle thing. I don't know why they never did anything with it, but I think that would be cool. And then an absurdly difficult ultra boss I think would be fun. Just an ultra boss with a massive HP bar, thresholds, and an insane reward upon clearing it in one try. So ultra bosses, their HP bars persist after you die. So like, let's say you get the boss to half health and then you die. If you go back in to fight the boss, it'll still be at half health. It leaves where you left off. So if you clear it within one try, you clear its whole HP bar, you would get a really big reward, like maybe a burst core or something of the same value. I think that would be cool. Right now, all of the ultra bosses are pretty easy. I think they should add like an ultra boss, you know, like the best ultra boss, like whoever, like the leader, I guess. And then next up, a colossal boss. This is going to be a boss that has multiple parts, and it has a health bar for each of its parts, and you can target the separate parts. So destroying its arms will weaken its offense. Destroying its legs will decrease its arch gen and evasion. You know, no legs, can't really move. Its evasion's going to go down. Destroying its head will reduce its accuracy, and then destroying its core defeats the boss. But the core takes reduced damage until the other parts are destroyed. So you kind of have to just attack those parts and then eventually work your way to the core. Something like that I think would be fun. Just make it hard, you know, have different gimmicks. Something like that. I would like it. I would have fun fighting that boss. But now we're going to get into the biggest banger idea. Customization and unique rewards. So I think we should have unique borders, unique name tags, backgrounds, banners, medals, crest skins, anything to individualize a player's account. So to make your account yours, anything like that would be cool. So pertaining to like side stories, they could add borders and background stuff like the side stories. And then crest skins I think are awesome. They did the PvP tournament and there's a crest skin for that. I think that's an amazing idea. I think they should keep doing that. Get more crest skins for more things, and you can have unique crest skins, and then people see your crest, they're like, whoa, what's that? That stuff, it's pretty cool. And to play off of that, I think the number one idea that would be amazing in Grand Summoners is a guild system where raid bosses become guild raids. So we completely ignore raid bosses, and we just turn them into guild raids. So then it's just a raid boss, but you fight it with your guild. And then you kill it, and you get a certain amount of points depending on whatever, how fast you killed it, how much HP's left, blah, blah, blah. And we give rewards based on which guild has the most points. So like a crest skin based on the guild boss's design. So let's say, for this example, the guild boss is Oldius. You make a little icon with like a skull and a sickle, and that would be the crest skin. That would be awesome. And then there's a unique medal given to the number 1 team, the number 2 team, the number 3 team, and the top 10 guilds. So like the number 1 would have the skull, the sickle, and like #1. And then the number 2 the number 2 team, same thing, but #2. Number 3, same thing, #3. And then the top 10 guilds, same thing, but a #10. I think that would be awesome, just to have a little bit more of, you know, an incentive for vets to actually play the game, because they have these crazy team comps. They have farmed all of this stuff, but now what? Like, give them something else to do, like a guild system with a raid boss, like a monthly raid boss where you can get a unique crest skin based on the guild boss's design. That would be awesome. And I'm just really hoping we get something cool and new, like, soon. But I kind of doubt it. But I'm just praying that they make GS a little bit harder. Because right now, it's getting kind of boring. It's too easy. I just think they need to breathe some new life into the game, you know? Not just a new crossover with new units, but some new content and new features. Especially for vets. And yeah, that's going to be it for this video. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, join the Discord, and yeah, that's it. See ya.